and patisserie. So this is a really high skill dish, so this would be a suitable dessert to do for either your year 12 exam or even your year 11 exam as well. So the first thing you're going to do is make your pastry. So to make your pastry is the rubbing in method, and you can do this by hand, rubbing the butter into the flour, or you can do it in a food processor with a blade, or you can do it in a kitchen aid as well. So you need your butter in cubes, and then it needs to be cold. Do not have it warm, so I've just got it straight out of the fridge. Cut it off and put it in the fridge. Flour also needs to be cold. Again, I weighed this out and put it in the fridge. So the first thing you're going to do is, so I'm using a KitchenAid because I'm going to cheat. You can also use these, but we don't have as many at school. So I'm going to put the flour in first, which again helps if it is cold, and then I'm going to put in my cubed butter. Again, pop this in. And then what I want to happen is I want this to go into breadcrumbs for about 2 minutes. We have got some of these at school, so you can use them, or do it by hand, whichever. Again, it's another skill, using another machine. So now it looks like breadcrumbs, and I can't see any big lumps. If you do find any big lumps, just rub it in with your fingers like this. But you don't want it to get warm. So you use your fingertips as if you feel your hands. Your fingertips are the coldest part of your hands. You don't want to get any flour on the palm of your hands when you're rubbing in. So you can see it's like breadcrumbs. So, once it's starting to come together, once you can see some lumps, you don't want to pulse it until it comes into a dough, because that means you're overworking it. So, next thing. So, the next thing you're going to do is, before you chill it, you're actually going to roll this dough out so it's easier to work with, and then you're going to chill it. So what you can do is, depending how much you've made, if you've doubled or half the recipe, you want to put it either between 2 pieces of cling film or 2 pieces of baking paper to help it roll out. I'm going to put it between 2 pieces of baking paper because then I'm going to use the baking paper to blind bake. So I'm just going to push it down a little bit just to make it easier to roll. Piece on top, lightly, and then I'm just going to gently roll it out. This stops it from falling to pieces, it stops it from sticking to the table, and also it stops you from changing the consistency, because you don't want to add any more flour to your pastry because it will make it drier as well and not taste so good. So if they just start to fray around a little bit, just get your hands and squish them back in to stop them, and also this means you can get more out of your pastry. Once the pastry is in the fridge chilling, I'm then going to make my cream patisserie. So I've got my milk, my vanilla essence, got some sugar, I've also got 2 eggs, which I need to separate at some point. So the first thing you're going to do is, in your saucepan, you're going to put the vanilla. If you have a vanilla bean, you're going to put that in to infuse it. I'm going to warm that up, and I want to take it off the heat just as it starts to come to the boil. So as soon as the bubbles start going, I'm then going to turn off the heat. Okay, so once it's gone nice and creamy, you can see it's kind of a creamy colour. Let me show you. So once it's gone nice and creamy, the milk would have boiled and you would have taken it off the heat. So you just want it to be warm. You don't want it to be boiling hot. If it's boiling, it's going to cook your egg, which you do not want. Nobody wants scrambled egg in their patisserie. So you just want this to be warm. So now I've got my pastry chilled, it's now ready to be worked with. So I'm going to put it into a cupcake tray, because because I don't have any removable tins. With this, you always want to make sure that your cutter is bigger than the rim, because it's got to go up the sides. So all I'm going to do is go right to the edge so I can get as many as possible. Don't twist, just push down. So first things first, I just want to grease my tins a little bit as they're not push-out bottom, and I don't want any chances. So I've just torn off a little bit of my baking paper that I was using to layer it. So put your pastry in the tin, work very gently. Make sure that it's nice and smooth. I'm going to put it on the top and I'm going to use my fingers to pull it up. I'm not going to push it straight in. So I'm going to gently fill it up. And then, as you can see, I've got it in around the side. Then I'm going to gently push it in. And with my fingers, make sure that it's to the bottom. Help let any steam out, and it will also help you get your air bubbles out of it, as you can see, because we're going to blind bake these. Now I want to make them all exactly the same size, so gently put it in. If it cracks, don't worry, just get a little bit of pastry and work it in. So I'm going to do that for all of them. Frying plate, get some baking paper, crunch up a little bit, it's easy to put in it, like that. And then you're just going to pop it in gently. Now, if you don't have any baking beans, you can use rice, you can use pasta, you can use chickpeas. These are actually my grandma's baking beans. So an heirloom, I would say now. Just pop a handful in this to weigh down the greaseproof paper and weigh down the pastry to stop it from rising. It also helps to cook them as it conducts the heat. So pop these in. Set, you can see it starts to go golden brown. That's good. So I'm then going. So once I've removed the beans, I'm just going to put them back in the oven for 5 minutes just to go golden brown. So with your custard tarts, after you have blind baked them, and they're sturdy like this, beautiful, and you've got your shell, you're then going to put your custard mixture in to them, and they're going to go back in the oven at 120 for about 15 minutes. So once they have firmly set, take them out the oven, and you can see they've set us into custard like that. Beautiful. Then you can either grate or sprinkle a bit of nutmeg over them. So a little bit of nutmeg. And here is your custard tarts. Beautiful. Enjoy!